All right. Are we live? Yes, we are. What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 164 of the RGT podcast. Man, definitely in for a show today. A lot to go over, especially with PlayStation, and of course to look forward to with the Game Awards. And today's episode, man, we are featuring a very talented individual. This dude, I go back with this guy for quite some time now. I've known him for quite some time. Before he became the Pope of Art, he was the Xbox Pope at the time. And a lot of things changed since then. But, you know, he used to always make controllers. I used to always know him for making custom controllers and consoles. And, of course, now that's literally his job. He has worked for Bethesda, EA, Ubisoft, Microsoft, the whole 9 yards. Literally, his artwork is everywhere. You can't escape it on Twitter, and it's awesome to finally have him on the show. Introducing the one and only Pope. What's going on, brother? Good to see you.
Going great. I think not many people get to see the actual face behind the crazy art, so I kind of hope there'll be a lot of people taking pictures now and just thinking, we've finally seen what Pope looks like.
Thank you for coming through, man. It's awesome. Awesome to finally have you on the show. Definitely looking forward to this conversation.
I mean, to be fair, it's been a 6-year journey. So, I mean, this success that I'm having right now, it did not happen overnight, you know. And I think that's one thing people need to take from anything, you know, podcasting, you know, just in want to get in the gaming industry, anything, even just a normal job, you have to start somewhere and you have to work hard to get where you want, or wherever your goal is in your mind, where you think that you should be, it
Yeah.
definitely doesn't just land on your desk like.
Thank you so much, man. I can't wait. Obviously, partner in crime on the right here. We got Blaze 4K. What's up, brother?
So look, Pope, but listen, man. I know you said, oh, they finally see my face. Look, man, you look like just like a normal guy. There's some other people that we're not gonna get into, but so you're good, man. I'm glad to see you here. I remember seeing your art on Instagram. It was like a Spider-Man, and I posted it, and I remember seeing the little Pope trademark, the watermark. You know what I mean? I'm like, now I'm putting two. I'm like, wow, that's been this guy the whole time. So it's cool. That's dope. Dude, he just showed me a bunch of controllers. Doom Eternal, all these controllers that are custom, that were, his designs, and it's pretty cool what he does, man. So
no, I mean, I'm really glad that you said, I'm just a normal guy, because obviously, in the world of social media, everybody thinks I'm this, this genius, or this, this miracle worker. But I really am just a normal guy who just loves life, likes to have a laugh, likes to have a joke, and basically I just like to put a smile on people's face, so and I'm just a super laid back guy and that's it really, there's nothing special.
I gotta ask you, man, what drove you to go to social media and share your art? I always was curious about that. Was it always a plan to like try to advertise it like that, or you just kind of like thought one day, you know what, I'm just gonna share my art with the world and see how they react?
Well, no, definitely not, because obviously, I've been in the design industry 30 years,
Oh, wow.
I am an old man. I might not look like an old man, but I am in my 50s,
Are you really? You don't look nowhere
Don't
near
look 50. You don't look 50.
This beard is grey, it's just light.
I thought it was the lighting. All right.
I mean, if you think back in my day, I've been designing for Boss, Ralph Lauren, Lacoste,
Wow.
Dolce & Gabbana. When you buy like aftershaves and perfumes, that's what I designed, And then I used to design the stores. I used to design the, $1 million interiors. So that's my background, I'm a retail kind of interior designer, product designer,
Mm-hmm.
So then when I first got on social media, I had no clue what the hell I was doing,
Mm-hmm.
And I just found a couple of like guys in the community, more so the gaming community. And I think a guy who I still speak to actually to this day had said, "Can you do a Gears of War controller?" And I was like, well, what does that even mean? Like I've seen controllers, but I never thought about doing any art on them.
A gamer at this point?
What? Was I a gamer yet?
Were you playing games?
I mean, yeah. I mean, I dabbled, when obviously I could, but in my job, I used to always have to be in different countries around the world. So, having that luxury of gaming was always quite small. I wouldn't say I'm a hardcore gamer, but I went back in my day. My first time gaming was on an Atari, and then I kind of dabbled on a Spectrum, and then I kind of went into a Commodore, and then I kind of skipped Nintendo because I went to Sega. I was more of a Sega guy.
Okay.
And then I kind of jumped straight into PC. So the Xbox and the PlayStation side came after a kind of bit of a long break, because obviously I was trying to sort of create a family, and I had like young kid, and just that was taking up most of my time. Then trying to get back into gaming, so but then I kind of headed down the Xbox route.
Yeah. Thus the Pope.
But yeah, going back to the question of how did I. So when I posted this controller for this person who wanted this Gears, it just kind of got a lot of attention. Like even still my work gets a lot of attention. And it just started where I was doing more requests, and then it started off with like 50 requests, then 100 requests.
Yeah.
And even this day, I mean, you probably see I have lists and lists of people's requests that
Oh wow.
I still do, even though I'm working for a PC company, even though I'm working for the brands that I'm partnered with. You know,
Yeah.
I always make time for the community. You know, and it's difficult because obviously people will say, well, you know, I was going to reach out to Pope, but he's always busy. And I would say, listen, I always make time for people. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. I'll always reach out and try and help best I can. You know.
That's dope. So Pope, so say I wanted, let's just say, right? I know there's a list that, like say somebody wants a PlayStation controller, right? And they want Nathan Drake's face on it, whatever, something. They say, hey, I want an Uncharted controller. You would paint it on? Like, what's this? What are the steps?
Well,
like, how do you do this?
Obviously, I do it in graphical terms. So obviously, I use a lot of 3D software, you know. So I create the textures, then I'll wrap it onto a 3D model, you know, that I've got. So all the images that you're seeing on my Instagram are actually 3D models, you know. They're obviously not real. But then if it got to the point where I needed to make that, I have a load of controller people who will make it for them, you know. And depending on who I use is depend on your location. So if you're in the States, I've got guys in the States who would do it. So it saves on you on you know, on import taxes and shipping, you know.
Right.
If it was more Europe, then I've got guys in Europe who would do it. So
see, this whole time I
depends.
thought it was strictly you, but you pretty much branched out. You have other artists on top of everything.
I've never made a controller in my life, like a real controller.
Yeah. But you did the artwork. Yeah.
I supply all the artwork to other controller sort of guys. So, but what's starting to happen now is the numbers are getting bigger. So
that's awesome.
A lot of the people that I used to use, it was great doing one-offs because they could all manage one-offs, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hand spray them or, you know, hand artist, graphic artists. But now it's got where I need 100 controllers made. I need 1,000 controllers made. I need 20,000 controllers made. And it's like, how do you expect a guy in his kind of, you know, his little paint studio to make 20,000 controllers? Well, like, that ain't going to happen, you know?
Yeah.
So you have to then think, well, who do I find that can make a lot of controllers in the same amount, in the same little time, other than using someone like Xbox, you know, which like, then they're not really going to start making my work, like, you know.
No, it's funny you brought up Xbox. You know, I was a little surprised that Xbox really started to, you know, like post and retweet your designs, start talking about them, and use some of them. And I was sitting there going, damn, how come? I was like, Pope, how come you don't send these to Sony? Like, Sony could benefit for some of these designs, you know? I remember I saw this Captain America themed console you made. I was sitting there going, I need that ASAP, and it never happens for PlayStation or the controller.
Do you know what it is? I think one of the reasons why I do a lot of Xbox versus PlayStation is the fact PlayStation never really reach out. I would love to, you know, I would love to work with the guys, you know. I would love to, because I do get a lot of requests, and I will stipulate them as fan art because obviously, you know, it keeps all the legal copyright sort of aggravation, you know, that comes with it. But Xbox have always been super generous to controller designers and makers, and they kind of love seeing other people's art on their hardware.
Yeah.
Whilst at the minute, PlayStation 4 was okay, but now the PlayStation 5, we actually get contacted by Sony's lawyers. Like, no, you ain't making that, like. Like,
Yeah, they don't
I
want
don't,
nobody making those side panels, which is weird to me. That's a gold mine they're
or
missing out on.
controllers. You know,
Yeah.
even when I can't even make you a controller. I might be able to do it as a one-off private thing,
Yeah.
but I couldn't sell 100 PlayStation controllers because they would literally be on my back like within
Yeah,
seconds, you know.
I signed a partnership with HexGaming. I'm pretty sure you heard of them, right, Pope? Have you heard of them?
Mhm.
HexGaming before? They sent me this right here, and I'm like, okay, this looks good, right, on screen
Yeah.
and whatnot. But I'm like, when I saw yours, something going, you can put a lot of these to shame, you know, aside from the paddles, but you can put a lot of this stuff to shame. And the fact that we don't have that is weird, especially going towards
Yeah.
the consoles, because that's one of the main things a lot of people like to do is personalize it. You know what I mean? Like even when I talked to Blaze about this with the fact that PS5 doesn't have themes. Like for the consoles,
Yes.
yeah, a lot of people like personalizing their systems, so that's
And it
weird.
is, you know, the beauty of, you know, with the Xbox, they've got the design lab, so at least you're partly getting somewhere of a
Yeah,
personalized piece of hardware, you know, versus Sony, which it's a shame because uh, personalization in my industry as a designer and dealing with marketing is a huge thing, you know.
mm-hmm.
It's where the money's made if you can personalize something.
Oh yeah,
Um, you can guarantee you'll make some kind of profit somewhere, you know.
mm.
Um, but it's just bizarre how they've just got this hold over people that they just do not want you touching their hardware, like.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really really weird.
And
So
listen,
Sony's really Sony when it comes to like anything, they're really kind of subdued, and you know they don't want nobody poking around there. You know, as much as I'm a PlayStation guy, and you know I love them, but you know
yeah.
they're not transparent about shit. You know, you always got to find out, you know, by someone else, by a leak, or you know what I mean. Very lazy. You know, I got a bunch of
Yeah,
PS4 Pros. The PS4 Pros are awesome. Like the Spider-Man, it's
Yeah.
just red with a logo on it. They could have done so much more.
exactly. Yeah,
The controller is cool, but look, it's just a red controller with white button. Like
white
they could have
buttons.
did a lot more with these things, but whatever.
And yeah, and I mean, I know people say, you know, oh, Pope, like, you know, your work's just out of this world, you know, but there is other designers out there who are I kind of look and I go, fucking hell, that's a cool controller, that, like, you know.
Yeah,
So there is just as good of people out there. It's just why they don't allow, you know, creators like myself to just physically make something without.
right. You would
It's
think
not
they would
like,
take you guys in and just give you like hire you as contractors. Do you know what I mean? Like for
yeah.
designs, and that would be
It,
perfect
it,
for them. Save them a lot of
it,
time.
it, the silly thing is, right, is people think you make a lot of money from this business. Like I can make zero money from what I do, like zero.
Yeah,
Um, because by the time you take off all the margins of buying the hardware, then you've got to buy all the materials. But what people don't see is the invisible costs. So they don't see people's labor, people's wages. They don't see import and export taxes. They don't see, you know what I mean? Having to pay the rent, having to
mm-hmm.
pay the electric bills, having to pay, like, so by the time you take all them bits of, you know, invisible costs, let's say, you don't actually make a huge amount of money. And that's why Xbox probably actually make a loss on every custom controller, because they sell them at $60, which, or $70 if
Yeah,
that, you know. But a standard controller is 50 or $55. So really the markup is tiny, you know. But the cost of having to transport X amount of thousands of controllers to different parts of the world to put in stores for people to buy, you know, it, you don't make a huge amount of money from it. It's more of a passion thing than
yeah,
a money racket, you know.
right.
Um, and that's what it's like for me. So I'm not greatly offended when I don't make any money at all for what I do,
Right.
because it's not about the money. It's about seeing people just like, oh my God, I've got this really special controller, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
treasure it, and I'm gonna like really, you know, just enjoy the art that's on it, rather than thinking it's some kind of like, ah,
So let me ask you this: how'd you go from consoles to controllers to now being part of NZXT? I remember when I saw the announcement when you announced it on Twitter and they retweeted. I was sitting going, "No way! I know that guy. No way he got to NZXT. How'd you get into custom PCs now? That's wild to me."
Well, I think it's because obviously a lot of people do see my name. You know, if you think the gaming industry is a very big world, but inside, you could probably fit it on your fingertip. You know, like everybody knows everybody, and everybody knows what everybody's doing. That's kind of how small it is. So because obviously I earned a lot of trust within Microsoft, you know, if you think, you know,
Okay.
I would speak privately with Bill and the guys behind the scenes who do all the kind of hardware with Xbox and things.
Right.
You know, you kind of earn this sort of reputation where they're talking about you in meetings, they're talking about you.
That's cool,
With their
man.
friends, they're talking about, and then it's like, oh, I've heard, like, so I was in a meeting the other night with a new potential, very huge thing that obviously I can't reveal yet because it's very big. But then I found out how he found out about me was because Forbes magazine and a journalist out of another games company had done published an article about, I don't know, it might have been some PlayStation stuff that I've done. And he told his friend, who then is this, you know, this CEO of this very big company.
Yeah.
So then, you know, you should be hooking up with this guy. Like, this guy's awesome, you know. So then I gets the call, and then I'm in this meeting, and he's kind of like fanboying that he's kind of speaking to Pope, and he thinks, you know, I'm this god that creates this crazy art. Basically, they want my art in every store around the world, you know.
Wow, that's cool, man.
So I was thinking, right, cool, yeah, like whatever you want to do, you know, like I say, but always in all my partnerships and deals that I do, you know, what people don't see is, yeah, I'll take a fee of, let's say, a design cost or a percentage of sales. But in my business plan, there is where I have to stipulate is a percentage of that money has to go back to the community. It has to go to charity. It has to go to places that people will never see because I don't publicize where it goes, because that's personal to me. Do you know what I mean? That, like, I choose to give my money to charity. I choose to give my money to help less fortunate people, because that's what Pope does. You know, if you think when I have certain companies making my controllers, they're not big people.
Yeah.
And I do that on purpose because I'm trying to help smaller businesses grow. I'm trying to make them learn from mistakes. I'm trying to help them, you know, develop,
Teach
and
the future.
hire more people. Like I'm going to partner up with a merch company soon, and they're just a small unit, but I want to give them a chance because they just want to grow. You know, they just want to learn, but they want Pope involved because he's got such a lovely reputation. You know, people love Pope, and they kind of like, you know, his art and how he interacts and engages with the community, and they kind of just want them to have that support and that love alongside as they grow as well.
Yeah.
You know, and people don't see that. You see, people just think Pope does controllers and that's it. You know, they don't realize I do so much more.
You do
behind the scenes. You know.
Yeah. I can't wait to see what you do with NZXT. You know, obviously we saw the Assassin's Creed Valhalla PC. You saw that, Blaze? That little black and like green-ish looking one? Yeah. I can't wait to see his version or his counter to something like that. You know, I really hope they let you.
His versions. The thing about when Pope makes something, like he does, it's really annoying because you see a Spider-Man controller like I just showed you, and he makes one, and it just looks so much better. It's like, damn, why couldn't they go with his version? Like, why are they not creative?
Do you know the difference, right?
Yeah.
It's because I do zero graphic design, right? So I'm not a graphic designer at all. Like, it's not about graphic design. It's about telling a story, and that's the difference. That's why people love what I do, is because I'm telling a story on a controller. So when you're looking at the Spider-Man, it's it's Venom, and he's coming across there, and he's wrapping himself around the thumbstick, and then Spider-Man's coming along, and he's kind of like spitting his web over, and they're having this little battle across the controller, but that's the difference, it's every single design that I do, it's telling you the story, it's not just put a logo or put a pretty picture here and think, wow, doesn't it look pretty? It's not about.
But that's what Xbox does too. With the gears, they got the scratch marks. You know
exactly.
what I mean? You get what I mean? So
yeah. So it's about telling stories, and it's the same in the gaming industry. When you play a game, it's just one big huge story. That you're playing basically. So I think if there's any inspiring designers out there listening, that's if you want to create great design, then you have to create a great story to go with it. Even when I do interiors, when I'm placing things within a store or thing, it's all about the journey of a consumer as they're going in the store, and oh my god, look at it, oh my god, and they're kind of walking through this Alice in Wonderland in their head. And that's kind of how you would place things in a store, it's where you would try and sort of target, or you want to create promotions or upsells a product. You locate them in a certain part of the store, because that is the part of the brain. Like everyone, it's a funny story, because everyone in Europe automatically turns left in the store. Right, that's just what they automatically do. But it's funny enough, in America, everyone turns right. So, it's kind of like you have to put product placements where people would naturally flow. And it's the same with controllers. I'm using a lot of psychology when I'm doing a controller. I'm tricking the brain into loving something because I'm using certain colorways, or I'm using certain things within the design that is triggering things in your head that can't help but love it, because I know how to trick the mind into loving something.
I'm gonna need that Venom design controller, especially with the new logo that's coming 2023. I'm gonna need that very soon. I'm just saying.
I mean, I would love to sort of work with Sony. Love to.
That'd be awesome. Let me go to the chat.
Now I know why. Now I know why they call him the Pope. Charities and all that. I could picture him in Rome, just raising his hand with like a controller.
Well, I was funny, because I was saying to Bit before, like in my early days of Twitter, I wasn't called Xbox Pope. I was called. I couldn't think of a name at the time of what to call myself. And I got to know a social media guy. You might know him. He's called Mooch,
Yeah.
And he, joking on, me and him became very good friends, like very good friends now, And he kept calling us Pope, because I was always helping people. I was always, trying to make people smile and be happy. And he says, "Oh, you're like the Xbox Pope, because at the time I was doing a lot of Xbox things." So that's how I inherited the name Xbox Pope,
From Mooch?
Yeah, from Mooch. Well,
Wow.
He's always
you better give him a royalty check once a month, man. Wow, that's a good name.
Do you know what it is? So I went on holiday to Mexico. Never guess who I bumped into in Mexico. Mooch. No way. He was on holiday there, not far from my hotel, right? So me and
Did you know though? Did you guys know, like, hey, I'm in Mexico?
Well, it kind of came about by accident, yeah. But then we said, right, well, let's meet up, So I did actually buy his lunch for him. So I kind of guess there's us squits,
There you go.
There's us 50-50 now,
Mooch is cool. I like Mooch, yeah.
No, he's a great. And do you know what it is? I mean, bless him, I know he he had quite a lot of stick many years ago.
Yeah.
But if you meet him in real life, honestly, he's the most nicest guy you'll ever meet in your life. He's generally, and
I've talked to him
find that
multiple times. He really is a cool dude, real cool guy.
But do you know what it is? You'll find that about anybody. I mean.
Yeah. He sent this. I
go
don't know
on
if he sent you one, Pope, but he sent me.
Oh, it's not your cup, is it? No, you say I
Yeah.
haven't got one of them.
So you haven't got yours? Oh man.
No, because I've got to go to New York, right? And I'm going to meet Mooch, and he's going to give me his personally.
Ah, I see.
No, but what I was saying is, it's funny because you see people's avatars,
Yeah.
and you put this perception on them, of like, they're not such a cool person,
Yeah.
But then when you get to speak to them privately, or you get to know them privately, you actually find out everyone's pretty awesome, really. They're just normal people, and that's kind of what I say about Pope. Everyone thinks he's some kind of graphic genius, or he's this messiah of something or whatever. But I keep telling them, it's literally I piss and shit like everybody else. Like I'm just a normal fucking dude, but it's just about enjoying life, having fun, and if you like gaming, who cares what you play on, because I certainly don't.
There you go.
Just have fun with it, it's super simple if you kind of just let your brain wind down a little bit and just chill, and just say,
Yeah.
And don't take people for granted, because just because they were a dick one day doesn't mean that they're bad people. They just could be having a bit of a bad time personally, so they're just a little bit off the day,
Yeah, that one's a good point, because
we've all got personal issues. All got them. Everyone.
Yeah.
But they don't need to reveal that in social media.
That's
they don't
true.
need to tell people, unless they really need some attention. Not attention like as in, but they're looking for help, but they just can't find help.
Yeah.
Then normally one of us guys would reach out to them saying, hey, look at my DMs are open, jump in. If you want to have a chat, let's have a chat.
Yeah.
Because mental issues, especially nowadays with COVID, is pretty high priority. And people don't know how to deal with it. Like, they really don't know how to deal with mental health.
Yeah.
And I always tell them the best way to deal with it is you have to speak to someone, whether it's your friend, whether it's someone in your family, whether it's someone in the professional industry, like a doctor or a psychiatrist or something. You just speak to them, because I've seen so many people die because they didn't choose to find the right people, and it took their life, because they didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And that's all I say is just keep talking to people. Don't be shy. There is no embarrassment in social media.
That's true. It's absolutely
There's
true.
nothing. You just got to be brave and be strong, and just kind of think, it is. I've got a problem, and I need to find a solution, but I don't know where to look. Like, I have people in my DMs who, I mean, I can kind of roughly say it, but it's like, it is, Pope. Like, you posted that banner today, but what you didn't know is, like, I was thinking about ending my life because I'm going through a bit of a shit time. But you did that for me, and it's made me like feel so special and so like honored that you did that for me. Like, you've given us hope, you've inspired us to keep fighting and keep going. And that's, you think, hang on a minute, this is just a bit of controller art, but it's not. It can actually create this, sometimes a bit of second hope for people. And so that's kind of cool that Pope can actually do things like that as well, So I think that's why, going back to your question, is Pope has to stay around because he inspires too many people. He gives hope and joy to too many people, even though he might have another list behind the scenes that fucking hate him, like. But
Oh, everybody got one of those. Everybody got one of those.
I can't live my life in knowing who hates Pope. I can't fix that for them, unfortunately. So I just kind of have to focus on who I can support and help elsewhere. Really, you can never please everybody.
I agree. I absolutely agree. Guys, POPeART, ladies and gentlemen, very inspirational dude, man. Let me tell you. One of my friends in the chat, who's a friend of yours, his name's Fun Speculation, Math. He in the chat, he's saying, "Hey, Big Cloud, why don't you ask Pope how much of how he is such a sweaty at Rainbow Six?"
Oh, do you know what it is? It's because
wait, you played Siege?
He plays Siege.
Oh, players, man. Do you not know, right? So I got into Siege when it first launched, right? And then I started mixing with like esport, sort of professional esport players in Rainbow Six Siege. So you kind of had to get a bit sweaty, and especially when you're training. I was never on esports, but I used to, train in the background with them. So you kind of started learning that Siege wasn't just a game; it was a strategic game. It was.
It's one life you're done.
Exactly. So what you used to do is you would go in normal matches, trying to be a bit of a noob in that, but really you were kind of like a trained assassin, So yeah, I became a bit of a sweaty Rainbow Six Siege player. But no, I do love Siege. It even though it has its bugs and it, kind of.
Oh yeah.
It's been a game that I've spent many hours on.
My cousin loved it. Where'd you play it on? What platform were you mostly playing it on?
It was a bit of both, a bit of Xbox and PC. I even got some of the world champions of esports sign like merch.
Oh wow.
T-shirts.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think they're not in this room, so I can't show you them, but they're in another room. So I've got like some world championship signatures on.
That's cool.
Rainbow Six Siege tops, and then I've got presenters. I think even some of the Rainbow Six Siege presenters all follow me on Twitter. Just because we sort of developed a good relationship.
Yeah.
Even the guys from Ubisoft who make the game, they all kind of follow me. Just because, again, I was kind of quite well known within the Rainbow Six community, But then over the years, I've kind of had to take a back seat from it, just for time. I don't really get much time nowadays to game, just because I've got all these, very big name partnerships, and unfortunately, they all require a lot of my attention,
Yeah. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Shout out to Briar Reels becoming a channel member, bronze tier. I appreciate you, my guy. Thank you very, very much. Let's see here. Go back to the chat. Shout out to Solid Rev in the chat, being messy as always. Full. Lady Foxfire, everybody. I see you.
I remember. I know Foxfire.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I remember Lady Foxfire from way back in my Twitter days,
way back.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we all knew each other for quite some time. That's the wild part about this situation. It's a full circle.
Yeah, it's kind of like yeah. But the thing is with me, because I'm getting old, I kind of forget. I forget who I probably used to speak to and who I don't. It's not like I'm trying to be a bit of a dick about it. It's just like sometimes I see so much. I get so many notifications in my social feeds. It's hard to kind of keep track of who I follow, who I don't follow, who I used to know, who I don't know. It's just a big, huge blur, you know. But nothing against anybody. I do actually love everybody. It's just like it's just difficult to manage social media and
Work and the business. Yeah.
work and life, and you know.
You have you're everywhere, man. EA, Ubisoft. Hey, man, it's happened. So I want to get into these gaming topics here. I'm gonna start with you, Pope. You know, we got the Game Awards in about 10 weeks. Any expectations? What you want to see? I mean, there's reports going around for Ninja Theory. A lot of rumors supporting Ninja Theory might be there. Might see Hellblade 2 if you want that.
Do you know what it is? You can forget all of them games when it comes to me, right? Because there's only ever one game that overrides every single game in the whole world. And
Starfield.
Nah, it has to be a Titanfall 3 reveal.
Oh my god.
Because I'm like a massive, huge Titanfall. I've even got like a Titanfall dude right somewhere up there.
I see him. Yeah. Do you have the collector's edition? Remember the collector's edition for the game, the first one?
No, I didn't. Because obviously it was like it was.
Dude, the second one was better, Pope. The second one was the helmet that lit up. You could wear it.
Yeah, I should have got more.
You know what, Pope? Shout out to you. Respawn Entertainment. Like, I know Titanfall 2 dropped in between Call of Duty and Battlefield, which was a bad idea by EA. I don't know why they did that.
Definitely, yeah.
But that game, first of all, I'll just say the multiplayer is awesome. It's basically what Apex is now. But I'll say that campaign was so fucking awesome. What a great campaign, dude.
Yeah, it was. It even had that kind of emotional.
Yeah, it did. Surprisingly
as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I think the one thing I've always loved about Titanfall versus other first-person shooters is just that fast-paced action.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
the movement.
You could just literally get from A to B, like jump.
Did you go back to Call of Duty when they reportedly did it before Titanfall and they started doing the same movements?
But then all of a sudden, you had this cool, fuck-off huge robot that would just drop from the sky and kick shit out of things. You know, it was like, oh my god, like this game's like so.
That was so well done, dude.
Then when they brought Titanfall 2 out, I was kind of a little bit upset because they changed some of the mechanics, the layouts and stuff, and I was like, what, you fucking changed? So like, just don't change what's not broken, you know?
Yeah.
But they did, and then after I played for a while, I actually understood why they did what they did, and I kind of grew to be more so in love with 2 than 1. If you know, it was kind of weird how that happens, but yeah, I love that. So if they did that, I think I would, because I'm in my 50s, I think I would have a little heart attack. I think.
Do you think? I don't think Titanfall is probably like
no, but I can dream, Like, come on.
I want Titanfall 2, but I feel like they would do Star Wars and something else before it. You know what I mean? Which it's a shame. Such a good game.
Because I mean, the Game Awards, especially Jeff and his team are notorious for revealing
surprises.
Like you thought, fuck man, never seen that on the radar. Like never ever. And even when they revealed the Xbox, it was like, what? Everyone was staring, going, "What the fuck's that?" Even I was like sitting there, "What is it?" And then it was like, "Shit, it's the new Xbox." It's like, like, what the hell's going on here?
I was confused by it, to be honest, when they first showed Series X, because they said Series. I'm like, what is that? I thought it was like another version of the 360, and they was like, no, it's the new Xbox. Like, oh, okay, why did they just call it?
Xbox's names are kind of...
That was weird to me.
Not for me, but, my cousin's mom was buying them. So it's like, oh, I'm going to get... So the Xbox One is the new one. I'm like, no, that's the old one. You need to get him the Xbox Series X. It's like, oh, he's got the Xbox One X. I said, no, the Xbox... It's just I'm like,
But didn't that kind of happen on Amazon where people were buying?
The OG,
the OG. And it was like, but like I used to go to your equivalent at Gamestop, which is like our game. Yeah, and you would kind of listen to people in the background, and you go, oh, please don't make that mistake, please, and you think, should I tell them? Should I tell them, like, or should I just keep quiet? You know, you think, no,
You
I'm
gotta
gonna have to
tell
tell
them,
them.
man.
I
Yeah, you
did, I know,
got
I did. I was like, no, like, this is what you need. It's almost like the employees couldn't even educate the, the consumer, and you as a fan were like having to educate either PlayStation consumers or Xbox consumers within
Well,
a
that
store.
happens so much.
It does.
GameStop employees that they're just there because they just got out of school and they need a job. Like, I remember this guy telling this one consumer, like, oh, so is anything different with the PS4 Slim? He's like, yeah, it just, they're pretty much the same. It just runs games better. And I'm like, telling the guy, I'm like, dude, the launch PS4 and the Slim PS4, they're the exact same thing. Just power consumption and it's smaller. They don't. The Slim doesn't run games better, dude. Please don't listen to that guy. I'm telling you, you can buy a used PS4 and you'll be fine. I couldn't believe it when he said that. It's like, dude.
It is embarrassing, and do you know what it is? It is kind of cool that you can actually go out the store knowing that you've helped someone, even if they don't even if they didn't say thank you, But they generally do say thank you, But it's, you feel as if, like, us as kind of hardcore, let's call ourselves gamers, we've got that sort of experience and knowledge that we can sort of help, because some parents haven't got a clue. Like, all they know is their kid wants a fucking Xbox or they want a PlayStation. Like, and when they go in store, they just see this huge cluster of, like, oh my god.
They're like, which one did he want?
I don't even know what a PlayStation looks like, like what, like that sort of approach, and they feel like you've got to go in there and, like, re-educate your granny or something,
Can I play my Xbox games with my Nintendo Switch? No, ma'am, you can't do that.
Yeah, it's and but generally people are clueless like that. Not because of their own stupidity. It's just, it's not their world.
Right.
It's not their environment. It's not their comfort zone to know. But I think us as gamers, it's good that we are willing not to be arrogant about it.
Did Microsoft ever send you an Xbox for like when it came out? Did they send you one?
No, they don't send me anything. No, they don't send me any.
Send one. Oh, okay.
No, but I never ask for them anyway.
Okay.
I couldn't care. Like, I'd rather pay for stuff, because then I know at least I've contributed to something, rather than expect something free.
Yeah. Okay. Blaze, what's your thoughts on the Game Awards, bro? Is there anything you looking forward to? Hellblade gameplay, reveals?
Hellblade? Are you sure they're not going to show Iceland off for the third time?
Let me say we might see another trailer, show some progress on it.
Listen, Hellblade, Ninja Theory, that game's probably going to be stunning when it comes to the visuals. It's listen, I don't know. I kind of passed on Hellblade even when it was on PlayStation as an exclusive or whatever, a timed exclusive. But dude, you put on some headphones and play that game, it
changed the game.
It's super effective, man. It really gets to you. You hear all the voices and it's kind of eerie and shit. I played that at night. I'm like, hold on, let me just play some FIFA or something. Like, I can't do this right now. But yeah,
you hear say, "Watch out!" You duck, you get all these things go at you.
I'm telling you, it was well done. But yeah, look, the thing is, even with the PlayStation event, if they show off a cool game, at this point, everything's being delayed. Everything's so far away that I want to see something new. I want to see a surprise, but at the same time, I know when they do, unless it's like Bethesda's like, yeah, Fallout 4 and it's out next week. It's like, like I don't want it to be like, 2023. Like, I want to see it and I don't want to see it because it's too early. It's like, God, it's just been such a slow burn for games this year. It's like,
do you know what it is? What's annoying is, like, I'm under so many NDAs. Like, I have to be kind of super neutral in what I say and do. It's weird hearing people talk about things that you kind of already know.
Yeah.
Well, what's coming out, man? Come on.
You might see a Sonic German there, guys. Might get your project abandoned at the Game Awards.
Soulcom's coming out. Come on, tell me.
It's oh no, I kind of my face will never reveal.
He keeps the same
Uh,
face. Yeah,
honestly, I kind of
that's cool
it's
though.
weird.
That's cool
It's
and
weird
it
because
stinks.
it's weird because obviously now I'm seeing a lot of like the stuff for Halo coming out, but what people didn't realize is I was doing like stuff like 2 years ago,
Yeah.
like behind the scenes, and I knew like kind of certain storylines and certain directions that they were moving towards versus stuff. You know, it's very hard keeping secrets, like. But no, I mean, yeah, I mean, Game Awards reveals. I think PlayStation should definitely start revealing a lot more. Like, I think they've got a lot more secrets to tell, you know.
Yeah.
But why keep it so close to your chest? You know, just get it out.
That's true. That's true. I can't blame
PlayStation's
there.
not, if PlayStation don't have, if they don't have like a trailer ready, if they don't feel like it's perfect, their little trailer, they won't release it.
They'll
They'll just
literally
hold it.
postpone
So,
it for months if they need to.
And
Every
it's a
single
shame,
time.
really, isn't it? Because, you know, even if they just give you that little teaser, just that little couple of seconds, and Sony has done that before, you know, with like, you know, movie trailers, you know, where they'll just give you that, you know, 5 second thing. And you think, oh my God, what the hell is this? You know, I
yeah.
think it'll just keep that momentum going within their community because, you know, unfortunately, Xbox has kind of got, you know, Game Pass, let's say, you know, and it's creating all this hype. It's generating a lot of this, you know, sort of moving parts within the company. But then you've got PlayStation, who's just feels a little bit static at the minute, like they're not
Yeah.
getting their fans like buzzing and excited, and because obviously I see it on social media, it's just not that. It's just kind of missing something, and I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It all
Um,
depends who you follow, Pope. You know, I'm sure you follow Priority, like a mixture, but mostly maybe Xbox. See, my guy, a lot of people I watch, it's like Sony's like, it's like, oh my God, like I'll turn on Twitter, it's like, holy shit, like you'd think God of
yeah,
War just released, It just
Yeah.
depends
I think it
on
probably
your
is
feed.
that players are, but I think
But
because
you're right.
obviously
Game Pass
I'm
is
yeah
creating a lot of buzz, man. It really is.
Let
yeah
me work that into the next question because there was this was going around. I think there was like an interview that Phil Spencer did on I forgot the name of the podcast, but it was a lot of people were
oh, like a take
believe
two thing
that
or
he
whatever
had,
it is, wasn't it?
yeah, like a
Yeah.
take two, something about them hitting 30 million subscribers in Game Pass. Now,
Well, they never said that.
yeah, some people that's going around
They
with 30 million.
interpreted that. The last time they gave out numbers, they were at
They're
18 million.
18, yeah, and everybody was like,
Yeah.
And
"Whoa, is that 30?" They're like, "Okay."
but that was in January, so it's been a long time since January. So you think either they're close or
On
they
the
might be.
cuffs of
Who
it,
knows?
yeah, maybe 20. Weren't they at 25? Maybe, possibly 25 or higher.
Do you think like the number situation is like a bit of an old-fashioned thing now, though? You know, like it used to be this PlayStation, Xbox number
Oh, it definitely
game,
was.
you know. But
Yeah, the basis
but
of the seventh gen definitely
but do you
was. Yeah.
think like nowadays it's kind of, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit irrelevant because like it doesn't really matter, does it? I don't
Uh,
know.
they look at them differently. Obviously, like Sony, when they talk about numbers, it's more so they're like, yeah, we're in this many homes, right, with the hardware specs,
Yeah,
and with Microsoft, they're trying to be Blockbuster in a sense. You remember Blockbuster, where you could just trade
yeah.
game. They're essentially trying to do the same thing. They're like going, yeah, we're the best deal or service in
I
the
mean, I know
industry.
they don't publicize them, but I bet you internally numbers are a huge thing because obviously being you know, a designer of retail, how I used to do my designs was based off data. You
Yeah.
know, like I had to use tons of data. I had to find out what were the consumer trends, what were the numbers and percentages of X, Y, and Z. You know, to
Mm-hmm.
then translate that into a design that would force consumers to impulse buy or
Right.
to kind of like trigger certain mindsets. Um, so I reckon they probably do care about numbers internally. I think why they keep them secret to the public domain is I don't know why.
Yeah, I never understood it either. I mean, you would think it's some kind of strategic reason behind it, but it's kind of, it don't really play that big of a factor to me personally. I don't think it matters if they did it. But hypothetically, if Game Pass was at 30 million, I mean, that's that's a big feat in record time. Is it? I'm not sure. I can't really comment. None of us know the numbers, and obviously it's up in the air whether or not that's true or not. So
yeah,
we'll see that in time, I guess. There's some news right here that was really, really exciting for me. Now, I got to ask you before I ask you this question. Are you a big Spider-Man fan, Pope?
You know what it is? I thought I used to be, but I mean, I do love Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm more of a Superman fan.
Ah,
it's kind of weird.
You gonna betray Marvel for DC? How dare you?
Well,
Boo
do you know the
this
funny
man.
thing? You talk about brands, right? So for 16 years, I've designed for Coca-Cola, the drink. But I only drink Pepsi. It's kind of
man, this man was never loyal.
Exactly. So it's kind of, you think. But yeah, I don't know. I think Spider-Man. Yeah, I mean he's good, but I mean apart from spitting a bit of web here and there. I mean.
So you want that Superman game? That's crazy. You designed some cool Superman designed Xboxes, and I've been saying this to people. You have, and I've told people, it'd be great if Microsoft was in the conversation for superheroes, and they had their own version. It would be cool if they had a Superman game for Xbox or something. That'd be cool. But
the only time I managed to get to play as Superman, right, in a game, and that was via Lego Marvel Adventures. You remember that? Remember the Lego game?
Yeah.
And that's the only time you could actually fly around as Superman,
Shit, the last Superman game that I personally played was and it was the last Superman I ever played afterwards. It was the one on N64. I never wanted to touch a Superman game after that terrible game.
I think Superman doesn't really translate well in a game, though, is it? Because it's like
he does. I think he does. Like we're saying that about Wolverine.
Around.
No, I'm saying people say that about Wolverine. I think he does.
I suppose
just gotta be got the proper team, the proper mechanics. It'll work.
So the trailer that we're seeing for possibly Wolverine. That's going to be an interesting story to kind of tell, isn't it? Really, it's you're kind of trying to imagine: is it some kind of real world? Is it some kind of like you say, what you're going to do as Wolverine is in a game like that.
So, I'm hearing. I don't know if you heard. It was going around that game is possibly mature-rated, Wolverine. And if it is mature-rated, I'm expecting a lot of just, him going over the top, anger management. Kind of like, I know you've seen Logan, right? With Hugh Jackman. You saw Logan.
I've seen Logan. Great film, yeah.
I would take Logan's type of, atmosphere, type of vibe, type of thing with this game. Have him be always not happy, just grumpy as hell, grumpy man, and go around. He'll have that anger management problem. And when it comes to the claws, I would add some kind of. They have to find a way to make destructibility possible. Like you can slice through stuff. They gotta make that possible.
Like cut through trees and stuff like that.
Yeah, cut through trees, cut through metal. I gotta see stuff like that. That's gonna definitely add more to the belief. It doesn't have to be an open world game, so they can focus on that type of stuff. It could be a very linear-esque. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Kind of like Last of Us. Not like Last of Us 1 is linear, but it's somewhat open. You can go to different spots, but it's like obviously there's barriers. They can do something like that, have it grounded like that. Did you see the gameplay, or not gameplay? Did you see the reveal, so to speak, for the Dead Space remake? Did you see that?
Yeah.
When they were showing off the damage system where you can shoot off pieces of flesh. Imagine that type of detail in this game, but in reverse. So like when he gets shot and he has bullet holes and they heal. I would like to see that. That would be badass for the character.
But do you not also think I mean, I don't know how far back your your gaming sort of history goes, but do you not think games now are so detailed and expectations are so high? Like you're
Yeah.
saying, wouldn't it be great if skin flicked off and all that? But then back in our day, it was like 8-bit, 24-bit,
Yeah.
like
They were
gaming
blocks.
where like pixels just bouncing around the screen, anything. Nowadays, it's like if it's not photorealistic, it's shit game, It's like, or if it's not running in 4K 60 frames, it's like it's a load of trash, this game. Um, do you not think there's a lot of that mindset within the gaming industry rather than just appreciating having fun with the game?
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, you could have fun slashing and things breaking apart, but graphically it doesn't have to be fantastic though, does it? As long as
See,
the mechanics was there,
that's kind of the misconception now, right? Because everybody kind of judge a game based on the outside look. They really do. They like the pretty
Yeah.
graphics, but I really think there's ways we can get both. It just comes down to just how you go about it, right? I'm not saying go all out and turn the graphics, ultra high. You know what I mean? No, there are ways to get it. Like even with performance, you see now with performance with 60 FPS now being a thing with higher fidelity, they can definitely pull it off. It's just I don't know, man. A lot of people are divided. Like I remember last year, I think you remember it, where dudes was like 30 is better than 60 because 30 is more filmic. You remember that argument? And now it's like, oh, once you go 60, you don't go back. And we're like, yeah, no, we told you this years ago. and then dudes are
Yeah,
part of it.
it's kind of bizarre, isn't it? How it
Yeah,
it's almost like swings and roundabouts. It just
absolutely.
the goalposts so much change to whatever and whenever. I mean, like I said, I've got I've got lots of NDAs on my head, but it was one of my sort of dreams, because obviously I've always been like a huge Marvel fan, would be to do some work for Marvel.
Yeah.
Like I would think, oh my God, like I've died and gone to heaven type feeling. Um, a- and then that's kind of come true now.
Mm-hmm.
So I am doing some things behind the scenes with Marvel. Um, and it was that originally, like, oh my God, like it's fucking Marvel. But now it's just got the point where it's just a job.
Yeah. At least you're having
Um,
fun with it, man. I can't wait to
oh,
seriously. I cannot wait to see what you build, whether it be the cases that we're talking about, whether it be the consoles or the controllers. Like I'm still waiting for the reveal. Honestly, I'm waiting because you know what's gonna happen in Spider-Man 2. So I'm waiting for the black suit to officially be shown. I gotta say, like this the teaser or whatever they do.
yeah.
I'm waiting for that because I know you're gonna be on that ASAP, and I'm like. Give me the kid. This send it my way. Just send it my way. So
Do you know this? Half the time, I don't even I don't intentionally just think, right, I'm going to drop a fan art because this is happening. Generally, 9 times out of 10, it's just based on the social media like requests. So it comes from someone just like, oh my God, Pope, just
yeah,
do a Black Spider-Man, just do it, and sometimes I'll deliberately not reply to a tweet based off that because I'll go, oh, actually, I could do that, and I'll do it, and then I'll post it because then it almost creates that secondary, oh my God, he's just done it. You know what I mean? Like
mm-hmm.
rather than it's almost like I'm almost keeping them in suspense,
Yeah,
and then I'm trying to. It's almost like Christmas, waiting for Christmas Day to come around. It's like, oh my God, is he going to do it? Is he not going to do it? Boom! Um, and I think it creates that extra special thing that I don't always reveal when I'm going to drop something.
mm-hmm.
Because I think it just creates that. It
Yeah,
creates that Christmas Day feeling.
yeah.
Uh,
Shit. Since we're on the Spider-Man thing, I was finally get to the question. Spider-Man 2, Insomniac pretty much stated that that game is going to be darker than the 2018 original. My question to you is, you know, with the game being darker, you see Tony Todd, who's the voice of the Candyman, you know, Candyman playing Venom, in this, and you have the potential of guys like Morbius possibly being in this game. Obviously, Kraven the Hunter was kind of revealed with his voice over the trailer, and you know, we have 2 Spider-Men. How do you feel going into this? How do you feel about it being a darker themed game? Do you think there's, you know, is there like a particular character that you would like to see? Are you expecting more horror-esque themes in this? I did a video and I was like, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you, especially looking at Arkham City. I don't know if you remember the Identity Thief. Remember that guy, Hush, who like kills people, takes pieces of their faces off, and like makes Bruce's face. That'd be cool if you find bodies throughout the world and they're drained of blood, and you're doing this detective investigation type of thing. And you're like, holy hell, what's that? You see a dude flying off or something. You see Morbius, and then that plays into the, you know, the mystique of the world. But what are your thoughts on it?
I think that because Spider-Man's always seen as this, you know, young person within the Marvel scene fighting these, you know, evil villains. He's almost like a young Joker style person, you know, like quite a mature person. So I think creating that sort of darker scene, it's almost like, remember the last Joker they did, you know, it was almost quite surreal and very like you know, it was very dark, but I think that also creates a different perspective for people. I think you're almost generating a new audience. And I think you'll probably get a lot more mature adults enjoying Spider-Man because of that, because it feels less kiddified, and more adult.
Definitely for us, down to what we grew up with comics and how dark it is, you know, because he dies in the comics, and then, you know, Miles takes over later in comics, and that's kind of always been a fear for a lot of people. Like, there might be a 3-part game here, he might die or some case, and then you play as Miles for the rest of whatever. Like, that was going around for God of War, because, you know, God of War was reportedly, you know, might be a trilogy, this new version of it with the Norse missile. So
and you sort of think, well, why is that got the, you know, because if you think about a story, you know, it's got a beginning, a middle, and an end. It's how far you stretch that story dictates, you know, like if you think of a typical business plan for a launch of anything, whether it's, you know, a product or a game, it's based around a 10-year plan, you know. That's how it starts. It's 10 years. There's the big pit, you know, the big picture, and then it's kind of divided, you know, between 5 and 3 and 2 and 1. So you could say, in the sense of, why did they bring the young child, like the son in God of War? It's because, you know, later down the line,
it's parts of
him. He kind of takes over, like, the father and son role, you know. So you could probably say the same thing. You probably say the same thing with the development of Spider-Man games, as who's to say Sony or Insomniac aren't just trying to tell that same story. Where in this dark, gruesome version of Spider-Man, you actually see him die, you know.
They're definitely looking for alternatives and different ways to spin off stuff. Like, you look at Uncharted 4. Remember, I don't know if you played 4. Did you play 4?
No, I didn't get a chance, because I've always said it'd be more Xbox than kind of.
You gotta play Uncharted and then play all the way to 4. 4 sets up a lot more other possible scenarios. Basically, I'll just leave it like that. It sets up other scenarios. But to go to the next topic here, God of War. We got confirmation of why God of War was delayed. It's actually due to the fact that Christopher Judge, who is Kratos, he actually suffered from some knee and I think back injuries, and they actually postponed the entire project for him so he can get well and everything, and that's what's going on there. So he basically took the blame for the project being delayed to 2022. Now, I'll be honest with you, man. This was admirable, right? But it also shows the morale, so to speak, in PlayStation, where they support one another like this. And I gotta ask you, you know, when you hear this, what are your thoughts on this? Does this affect your hype for God of War? Are you still hyped for God of War? Looking forward to it?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, it's like any industry, you know, you rely solely on your staff, you know.
Yeah.
And if it was me or you who all of a sudden fell sick, I'm sure our employees would also sort of think, well, no, we need to kind of pull back. So it's fantastic that Sony or anybody does that, because obviously the characters is the main character in this kind of like this important role. You know, they can't
Yep.
kind of just switch them last minute. You know, I mean, but then you often wonder what happened. Not to be morbid about anything, but what would happen if this person had died in real life? You know, how would
Yeah.
they then continue the journey? You know, so I think
Yeah.
they've also got to kind of be aware of what if that happens. You know.
Yeah, that's where we are with the Black Panther. I don't know if you remember Chadwick Boseman, who plays. Yeah, he's no
that's
longer with us.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that happened to the same within the Fast and the Furious, though, didn't it? With
Paul Walker. Yeah, that's true.
Paul Walker, you know. But luckily his brother was kind of quite like him, and they managed to kind of finish them scenes. But I think
Yeah, they used like pictures, and they used the brother's face, and like they were able to like craft it, and do his emotions, which was. It was good. So, I mean, it definitely looked good. You could definitely tell it's CG, especially like in the last one, 7, when they do that final face off and they drive off. You can tell it's CG, but yeah, it's definitely.
And I think in the same instance, technically, really, Sony could have went, well, we're just going to replace the gaps with some digital, kind of content version of, you know, the real sort of actor, if they really wanted to, you know.
Yeah.
But it's kind of good that they've held back. And I think, you know, sometimes it's easy for people to jump on the bandwagon and get upset about delays. But
I mean, a delayed product
I'm a great
is
believer
not
that things happen for a reason, you know?
Right.
I'm a great believer that things happen for a reason. And
I mean, would you rather play a rush product than a delayed one? I mean, I'd take a delay over a rush product any day of the week.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think it was brave of also people like sort of Microsoft to delay Halo, because I think maybe it's in their heads the thought they had a perfect game, but it was, you know, it was the community, it was the fans, it was everybody saying, you know, like, no, this is not ready, like, you know. And I think had God of War kind of went and kind of got rushed through, I'm assuming even PlayStation fans would probably be like, you know, like, no, I kind of wish this had been delayed now, because it's going back to the Christmas Day experience. You know, it's that receiving the game, opening it up, putting it in, or you know, downloading it, pressing launch.
That's the tough part about launching a system, right? Everybody's very anxious to play. You know what I mean? Like when you don't have that much, we go into the theories. Everybody says, "Oh man, you know what? I need a pro unit." Because I know you heard about guys talking about PS5 Pros. I'm like, guys, we haven't even pushed the boxes yet. We're not gonna do that to 2023. So what we talking about pro units for? Then we got revisions early.
And I think as well, what people need to realize is it's not Sony's fault. It's not Microsoft's fault. You know, the world has been turned upside down a bit. Like, with COVID, you know, it's really put a lot of people out of employment. It's put a lot of industries in transport and logistics.
Oh yeah.
In some difficult situations, and although some people are quite forgiving in allowing that to kind of like, you know, just kind of see through. There is also people who are kind of just a bit impatient, you know.
Yeah.
I think, well, you know, I've bought this brand new PlayStation and where's my games? You know, I've bought this brand new Xbox, where's my game?
Yeah.
You think, like, mate, just give it time, man.
This is like the worst time ever. I even said this when we first got them. I was like, this is like the worst time to launch systems, to be honest. Like we could have waited a full year, maybe, you know, maybe two before we launched PS5. I know they wanted to get out of the last gen. They didn't want that gen to last super long like PS3 and 360, but logically, I mean, it wouldn't have hurt. I don't think it would have hurt them.
But I think at the same time, you know, you can always think hindsight about everything when something happens, you know. But at the time, maybe them guys, one, didn't know COVID was around the corner.
Yeah.
And two, like, when is a good time and when is a bad time, you know?
Yeah.
If you think, you know, going back to, you know, the old Xbox, I think I got it there, the old fat version. Can I get me? There he is. You know, they probably thought they got this bee's knees of Xbox consoles and it can do this, and but it turned out, you know, it almost nearly sort of punished Xbox, you know.
Yeah.
But then that allowed PlayStation to kind of move forward, and I think now you've got the Series X, which is a fantastic piece of kit, you know. But then you've also got the PlayStation, just as good, but it's just, you know, which one satisfies your needs. I think that's what people need to more focus on rather than what satisfies other people's needs, you know. And I think it's easy to get wrapped up like that in social media. It's like, oh well, the majority are speaking PlayStation, so I must have to go and buy a PlayStation, you know. But deep down, I kind of really wanted to buy an Xbox because, like, my cousin's got an Xbox, you know. It's almost like this that peer pressure thing, you know. But I think going back to the difficult times, I think both companies have done super well to achieve what they've achieved now. And the only thing I'm kind of griped a little bit, and it kind of be helped anyway, is the fact we've seen a lot of people buying bulk hardware and trying to sell it for a profit, you know. I think the term is like a scalper, you know.
Yeah.
That's kind of a bit naughty, really.
That's been the worst aspect of all this. Like, it doesn't matter what console. It's like a scalper's going to have it 9 times out of 10 before you can even hit pre-order. You know what I mean? Like, that's the wild part.
At the time, these were kind of close to holiday season.
Yeah.
And I was watching, like, families who, you know, really wanted to get these things for their kids for Christmas and things. And they were literally having to pay over the odds for them. Like, they were literally having to pay not double the cost, but, you know, an extra $100, $200 on top of.
Yeah.
And that's disgusting. And then he was seeing people who were like weren't even receiving the hardware, you know. Like, fuck, yeah, like, how do these people do it, you know? I couldn't have the heart. And you just think, well, that's the world we kind of live in now, you know. But I kind of wished there was a lot more availability in stores versus online.
Yeah.
Because I think that might have just stopped, you know, that scalper scenario. Even if it was like one per customer in store. I think the majority of the gaming community would have at least been satisfied to own a piece of hardware, you know.
Yeah. Actually, let's see. Oh, it's actually my last topic. PlayStation acquires Bluepoint Games. I want to go to you on this, Pope, because, you know, Microsoft bought Bethesda. It was a big deal. Everybody lost their minds over it. You know, you see lots of talks now what they're gonna buy next, and obviously, Bluepoint Games joining Sony has kind of been the worst kept secret. Sony kind of jumped the gun earlier, and it was a few months earlier where they showed, hey, Bluepoint Games joined PlayStation. It was like, oh wait, disregard that tweet. Sorry, that was a wrong tweet. We're like, really, Sony? Really? We know you're in the process of doing this. Like, this is not even a question. What these guys did with Demon Souls, and of course what they're going to be doing with your future games in terms of legacy, we know what's going to happen. What are your thoughts on Bluepoint Games joining PlayStation Studios?
I mean, I think it's fantastic because obviously, you know, what you've got to remember is it's not about who's got the most, you know, partner-shipped companies on board. You know, it's about growing a business. You know.
Yeah.
And I think having, whether it's Bluepoint, whether it's, you know, another game industry, it's always important to have them partnerships and building them relationships and just producing games for the community, you know. So I hope Sony actually acquire a few more, so then, you know, because I think it's good to have healthy competition between both brands, you know. Versus, oh well, you know, Xbox has got whatever it is, 13 studios, and PlayStation's only got. Listen, I mean,
we still got to see results. That's all that matters for us. We care about results.
What people say is Sony, and what people say is Xbox, but what they don't say is you, Blaze, me. We could be employees of them companies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's our mortgage. That's our gas and electric bills that we need to pay. You know, I mean, these are businesses that are holding, that are paying people's, you know, hard work and people to support their lifestyles, their thing. But at the same time, they're trying to, you know, make money from the consumer to support, you know, the next project, the next, you know, the employees of the company. So I think, you know, people need to realize that the more these businesses do partner up, as long as they're protecting the staff that they're partnering up with, it's not just a buyout of, well, you know, we've bought yous now, we've got the rights to do whatever we want with yous. You know, there's layoffs because, you know, because in my industry of design, I've seen that kind of happen where a company will buy a part of a business, but then get rid of all the staff, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, what did you do that for, you know? I mean, like, so you just bought the brand, you know?
Yeah.
That's kind of what you've done. Like,
okay. Good points. Blaze, I know you had a lot to say about it. Bluepoint Games now a part of PlayStation Studios. What's your thoughts, bro? You're muted, by the way.
Yeah, my fault. I mean, yeah, we already knew. I really, you know, everything I said about it, I've already said, but I'll just say that, you know, Bluepoint has proven himself over and over again that they can make a beloved classic, and not only make it but improve it. And you know when you talk about PS5 games, Demon Souls, when you talk about next generation, Demon Souls is one of the best. You know, it's top of the list in the visual department, and I think they did a great job. And I think Sony was smart to grab them now. Why wait? You know, the more these developers stop putting out beautiful games and they keep getting received well, and I know these are remakes, but you can still fuck up a remake, trust me.
Oh yeah.
So you know, I just say buy them while they're cheap. You know, Sony's smart, get them now. Why let them keep making games? And you know they're great, man. They deserve a backing of a big company, of a Microsoft or a PlayStation, and I think it's good. And you know, and at the end of the day, like Pope said, it doesn't matter how many, you know, Xbox got 34, PlayStation got 25. It don't matter. At the end of the day, we just want games to come out, you know, that are quality games that we all enjoy. It's at the point where Bluepoint was a no-brainer. You know, everybody thought like, hey, they should buy Bluepoint. Then the rumor came out, then the tweet came out, and so it was a no-brainer for PlayStation.
Yeah,
I think it's good, healthy competition. That, you know, this is great. You know, I don't think they need to, like, The other thing I don't like either is like, oh, I hate this. You know, PlayStation needs to respond. They need to acquire somebody, and boom, they get Insomniac. You know, then Microsoft, but it's like it's not a you know.
Yeah, it's not a race
Inquire,
to who buys studios.
you know what I mean? It's like
yeah.
it's just pathetic. But you know, either way, Bluepoint's great, and I can't wait to see what they do next.
Yeah.
Really.
So,
Also,
so
these
you
25
kind of
teams
hope.
are being split into like 3 teams, if I remember correctly. Like they're adding more talent
Yeah.
to it because they just acquired Firesprite as well to add to this conversation. Firesprite was added, and Firesprite also acquired Fabric Games to go in mergence with Firesprite to have like a bigger team, help extra hands on deck for projects. So just want to add that on there. But yeah, what were you about to say, Pope? I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say to Blazer's thing there, you kind of hope, however good, you know, Bluepoint or at the minute that Sony, you know, have that leadership internally to inspire them to do even better, you know,
Right.
like you say, because it's almost like going back to my point earlier on. It's, you know, I tend to kind of adopt more smaller sort of brands because I love just allowing them to grow, you know. You kind of hope that's what Sony will do with them. It's not just well, we've got another name in the book, you know.
Yeah,
I hear
I
that.
agree.
I hear that. Let's see here. Is that everything? So make sure we got everything. Oh, just throw this out here. This is the last one. Horizon Forbidden West. As you guys already know, that's Guerrilla Games game. However, it turns out that they are hiring for an MMO. Now you guys already know the mindset, or not really the mindset. It's kind of been the narrative for a minute that Sony doesn't really have multiplayer games. They don't really have no crazy MMOs to stand by. What are you guys' thoughts on this? Start with you, Pope. Do you think they need this? Do you have high hopes for this particular game? What it could be from Guerrilla?
I mean, listen. I mean, if it's not within the variety of the niche,
Yeah,
sort of ways of Sony, it can only do them sort of good in a sense to try something different, you know. So is this the game to do that? Probably yes, because you know, it's almost got them almost that female character who you can, you know, you can capture almost that female gaming world that I think a lot of people in the industry forget about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's some great female gamers. So you've got them attachments to that, or you've got the mechanics of the game. You know, that sort of almost that future robotic animated style. And I think bringing it to an MMO is only going to bring a new type of audience in.
Yeah.
You know, so it almost creates like a 3-layer effect rather than a 2-layer effect. And I think what the problem with, you know, single player games in a sense is they're exactly that, aren't they? It's just you zoned out, chilling, playing a game. But then where's your options if you want to like have a bit of fun and a bit of like sort of banter time with your friends, you know, and just talk shit, you know, but at the same time enjoying a game that you all love, you know. Like, where is that option, you know?
That's true.
And I think that's important to Sony to also adapt that culture, that market, that just because I know, being in an Xbox community, I'm not a hardcore gamer by any means.
Yeah.
But I don't need to be.
Oh yeah.
Because
I know. Yeah.
I'm just chatting with my friends. I'm just like chilling, you know, and that's the best part of the gaming. You know, it's kind of weird, but at the same time, I can also zone out and I can just, you know, go and play a game that I just want to play by myself. You know.
Yeah. So before I close this out, I don't know where Blaze went. So I guess Blaze had to go handle the kids again. But before we close this out, Pope, gotta ask this question for you. Obviously, throughout all your years of making art, whether it be for controllers like so, or consoles or PC, gotta personally ask you. It's kind of always, I don't know. It's always on my mind, type of thing. What is your favorite art that you ever made for these next gen consoles or controllers? What's your favorite art that you personally made and you posted? I know it's not the Batman. I know it's not Batman. Or is it?
What is it, Batman?
The Batman one. I think Chris, you made one for Batman. It was like a purple.
Oh, I've done one for Batman, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a purple greenish hue type of one. I remember.
I think my most successful one has to be, the Halo Needler.
Okay.
As in probably gaining the most attention.
Yeah.
But then it's probably just going to be the Gears of War, only because it's that created Pope.
Yeah.
It's that created everything else. But a cool little story, right? I didn't know. So do you know like the new Halo controller for the Elite?
Yes, sir. I do.
Well, a little bird tells me internally. I actually inspired the team to make that.
Oh, wow.
Because, and apparently, a little bird also tells me that was no easy task.
Really?
My work has inspired even the people at Xbox to push even their limits.
Yeah.
And that was kind of cool. So I kind of think I probably got to give a little bit credit to the amount of Halo controllers I've actually.
What about the new Series X console, the limited edition Halo one? Did they all say that about that one? Because that one looked very similar to one that you made, minus the little star. You know what I mean? Like effects that's on the side. I could have sworn that looked very similar to one you made before.
It's probably has. If you've got to imagine, I've done well over 3,000 designs.
Yeah, you've done a lot.
So like, there's going to be something in there that I've kind of probably inspired, or it looks like, or it things like, so yeah, it's quite difficult to actually give you a. But I'm working with a game company at the minute, right? And I'm quite excited about it, really, because I've done these designs. And obviously, when I sent them off to the game developers, it was like, "Oh my fucking god, this is the best control I've ever seen in my life," and then I did them like 6 more designs. And do you know what it is? I think it might be my best controller ever.
Oh, you got to tag me in this. I got to see this one.
No, I can't show you because I'm under NDA.
No, when you reveal it on whether it be social media or to the company, you gotta tag me, and that's I know what it is.
I was kind of like playing around with it because every design that I do, I do them in 30 minutes, and the reason why I do that is because the support. It's about telling stories, so it's meant to happen like just spontaneous. It's meant to happen organic, and but after 30 minutes, you start to criticize your own work. Yeah. So you start to kind of like, I maybe should use white. Oh no, maybe you. Do you know what I mean? And then that's when you know, like just stop. Like
yeah.
But when I did these certain controllers, you see how I'm having to be careful what I say. I was like, oh my god, if this becomes real, it could be literally maybe it's the best controllers I've done, because they are quite beautiful,
Yeah. Shout out to Lady Foxfire. She says, I truly love the one that you did for Xbox Attic. I believe it was a Sea of Thieves one.
Oh yeah, because bless him, Xbox addict. Did you know like me and him are inside the game Sea of Thieves?
Really?
Like we're like memorials inside the game,
Oh
like
wow,
forever.
that's so
So
cool.
because what happened was is before bless him before Xbox addict had died,
Yeah.
me and him kind of so it's a little bit of a story this. So me and him had this idea of doing controllers together.
Mm-hmm.
Only to give the developers and things to say well done and well done on the hard work that you do for us in the
Yeah.
community. So we picked the first one as being rare. So then at the time it was the Sea of Thieves was kind of like just being revealed, and so that's why I've got the very rare Sea of Thieves controller behind me, and I handmade these box and then put Addict kind
Yeah.
of made these controllers and put them in, and we sent them off to like Rare and Xbox. And what happened was is when they were creating the Sea of Thieves games, the Xbox Addict was still around then, but they put the box and the controller
Uh-huh.
in one of the islands. And then obviously when he passed away, they kind of changed the memorial to being like little candles.
Yeah.
And even to this day, the Sea of Thieves community, they'll go and they'll drop like little treasure boxes, like just around his little gravestone. He's like his little memorial. Um, and I think that's like super special. So yeah, I probably agree with Foxy there. When I did this Xbox Addict controller, I think Aaron Greenberg was sharing some story at E3, and they were kind of like showing some pictures of this other console that is a bit of a memorial, to him.
Yeah.
I think I've done a few memorial controllers for.
Hey, he's got it in his hand. Blaze got it.
What's that? Alright. The
Never
one
will
that
leave
you're
the box. It'll stay in
the
the
one that
box.
the one that you're talking about for Xbox Added is kind of like that one.
Yeah, that one. I remember
Yeah.
seeing that on Twitter everywhere.
And then obviously I keep his little ribbon on there as well.
That's cool, man. That's cool.
But
That's really cool.
yeah, so when you see POPeART doing all these crazy stuff, that's actually still me an Xbox addict,
Yeah.
So I keep a bit of Xbox addict in my heart, So it's mine and his crazy little adventure that we were supposed to do together, but
That's dope, man.
He decided to, his time was best placed somewhere else. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
I mean, I miss him hugely, like, because me and him were like, we used to just banter on and talk shit together in DMs, and
You made him
it was
proud, man.
great.
I tell you that. You made him proud.
It was great just to have someone where if you're having a bit of a bad day, you could just
Talk to. Yeah.
you could just have a chat to, and I guess nowadays it's hard being poor because I don't have that. I don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have someone I can kind of load off and just think, it is. Like, I'm having a really shit day the day, but you've got to keep being positive. You've got to keep being nice,
Yeah.
But
That's true.
even I struggle sometimes, So what I've learned to do is just take breaks, just step away from social media, just
Yeah.
tell people, look, I'm just having a bit of a break, just so I can recharge again,
Yeah. It's amazing what happens when you really remove social media like Twitter from you, like from your activity for like a couple of days, like 10 days. You feel such a relief.
Oh, it's great. I mean, not
Yeah.
that everyone's you're not trying to say everyone's a pain in the arse, like, but
Yeah.
you just sometimes it can just get heavy,
Yeah,
like
your brain
mentally,
just drops it off. You don't have that added weight, it feels like, on any aspects.
And it's just nice just to sort of take a step back and just kind of recharge. So yeah, that's kind of how I treat social media. You know, one, I don't treat it personally. One, I don't treat it serious.
Yeah.
I treat it as just pure fun. And then take regular breaks. You know, just make sure you can, you know, spend time with your family a lot more.
Yep. I want to personally thank you, Pope, for coming on. First of all, I hope you have fun. I told you you're going to enjoy yourself on the show.
Do you know what it is? I had a terrible time. I think we'll have to do it again. So then, it's funny when when you go to a restaurant, they go, "Oh, I hope the food was okay," and you go, "No, it was disgusting. But can I have it again so I can try it again?"
Right.
You know, it's like, and I think no, honestly, I had a great time. And thanks for bringing us on. Like I said, I don't generally do these things, not because I don't like to. It's just
You're busy.
I mean,
you're a busy guy.
no, but how do you not get bored of just talking about shitty POP controllers? You know, it's like, oh my god, you know, it's like.
It's like, can I escape these controllers? I do it on through social media every day. Can I escape them?
Yeah, it's like, what do you want to know? Yeah, I do them in 3D. How long does it take? 30 minutes. Who are you working for?
Oh,
Many
Lord.
secrets.
I think it was important that,
No, it's good, man.
you come up here and, it was nice that we just let you talk and let you get, I was kind of curious because I've always seen your stuff, but
yeah,
I like seeing the backstory of shit, like how it all, it was cool to see how it all came about. But yeah, no, we appreciate your time, dude. Trust me.
I mean, if you think about in my in my real life, it wasn't always this cool, you know. I come from a less privileged background, you know. I know what it's like to be homeless. I know what it's like to live on the streets. You know, you've got to understand you either live your life constantly in that gutter of roughness, or you fight, and you fight so hard.
Yeah.
You don't know if you've got the energy to fight anymore, but you still do.
Mm-hmm.
And look what it achieves. You get to do like crazy, stupid, well, not stupid, but crazy things like this.
Yeah.
But if you go back, 20, 30 years, I had zero. Like, I had like nothing.
Anything's possible, man.
So, you've just got to work hard.
Yes, sir.
And I think as well, it's important in life that you set yourself goals.
Yeah.
They're the things that drive you, see. So don't be scared to even create a goal that you think is impossible.
Yep.
Because that goal is the thing that's going to take you right the way over the edge, you know.
Oh, dude, that's how it's been with because beforehand I didn't do this where I interviewed figures in the industry. We didn't do that at first. We it was mostly just gaming news. Did the show, and then we just go about our day, rinse and repeat. Now we've gotten to a point where we're able to reach more people, and it's been a treat to watch that grow from one interview to 2 to 3 to 4. You see what I'm saying? And it's even more. I got so much stuff planned, and big surprises for everybody in the chat for these next 2 weeks. So
that's
it's
fantastic.
Gonna be
fun. I mean, I'm loving it that you're doing that, and you're learning to kind of grow. And if there's any, I've got lots of contacts that you feel you're not getting anywhere with, but you would like to speak to or have on your show, just reach out.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely ask you after the show. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. That's what I'll definitely.
Pope's about helping people. You know, he's not about just controller art. He's not about blah blah blah. But within reason, I can only help people so far. I can't, hold a hand right to the end.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
So yeah, anyone who's in the audience, you know, just don't be
Seriously,
scared to speak.
just hit him up,
speak
man.
to Pope,
Tweet
you
him.
know?
He'll reply to you. Pope will reply to everybody. I promise you that much. He's
Yeah.
that cool of a guy. Listen, I've known you for 3 years, about 3 or 4 years on this platform. I think it's about 3 on Twitter, about 3 years, and
Is it?
about 3 years
Oh,
on Twitter. That's how long it's been, and it was seriously an honor to finally talk to you in person on the show. We've been wanting to do this for a while, and I was like, it's never a good time because it's always news. I have these guys like, oh, it's never a good time. But I'm glad I was able to set that up. We were able to make that moment happen. Congratulations again. I'm about to say this seriously. Congratulations to all the success from that one screen, you know, that one controller design that became 3,000 to here.
So have I been good?
Oh,
Have I
you've
been
been
a
great.
good person? Oh well, that's all right. Have I made you happy?
Oh yeah.
Well, that's my job done then.
There you go. Dude, every time I see a Spider-Man anything that looks as good as what you do, it always brings a smile to me. I'm like going, even when I tweet it, I quote you, I'm like, the legend does it again. They're like, wait, you know that guy? I'm like,
hang on a minute. So
I'm friends with him.
Maybe since I know you're a huge Spider-Man fan, maybe I just do you a personal fan art of like your very own like creation.
That'd be cool. Hell yeah.
It doesn't. You can stick it on your wall behind you.
Hell yeah, I'll take it for sure. I'll put it in the background.
And when you're doing your podcasts, you'll just have this. Oh my God, what's that behind you? Oh, it's like cool.
Hell yeah, I'll make it. I can definitely make that my screensaver and everything on the PC. I'll definitely use that.
Pope,
for sure.
will you please give this guy some flavor? I mean, Pope, you see his background? He got a fucking dusty dresser. I mean, can you put some art? Can you put some personalization, Big Cloud?
Do you hear this guy?
Show yourself off, Big Cloud.
The nerve!
Big Cloud, because you're a passionate guy. You're a passionate guy. Show off.
I'm gonna make you this huge Spider-Man controller that's gonna like cover that.
Let's do it for him.
I've got a great big thing at the back of you there.
I'm ready. Let's go. Send it my way. You got it. Guys, man, thank you guys so much for coming through. I know it's the Halo bit. I know it's been a wild week, man, but seriously, shout out to everybody who came through. Appreciate y'all. I'll definitely be back next week with Blaze 4K. Blaze, any closing statement you'd like to say?
I want to just say that, Pope, you should definitely quit making controllers. You're not good at doing them.
I know. I keep telling myself that as well. I'm like, yeah, it's like, stop it, man, bro. You're doing shit job.
Dude, you're actually pretty good at podcasting as well, dude. Your voice, you just
Really?
I don't know. I think you're too hard on yourself, dude.
I definitely am. You know what it is? That's my biggest downfall in life is I punish myself so much.
I used to be the same, to be honest. When I first started making content and I started seeing the channel go up in numbers, and then when we finally started getting on camera, I would listen to myself. I go,
spokesperson, mate, because he's great at encouraging people to do good, cool things. I think Blaze should be a spokesperson.
Wow, yeah. I appreciate that.
No, you do, because you talked about Pope being like a genuine, just normal guy. So you're obviously seeing through us to know that.
I told Big Cloud that I got the sixth sense. I can tell when someone's being genuine, and I just see you there.
Yeah.
And you're just a genuine guy that's not acting. You're not trying to as big as you are, right? You're just acting like you're one of the guys talking. You got to respect that.
Because do you know what I do? Right, my little secret is, like I had said before, I know what it's like to be homeless. So I know in my mind, I can take myself to that place where I knew I had nothing, or I know what it's like to have zero. So I don't excel myself. Like, I don't inspire to be something because I know what it's like to have nothing. And that day can come just as quick as success can come. Do you know what I mean? Like, as quick as you earn it, as quick as you can lose it. So that's why I just stay grounded and I just stay neutral.
Yeah,
glad,
you know,
man.
to close off, Big Cloud, you know, just cool little quotes I remember from the cast, and we'll get out of here. Just, you know, how you said, you know,
because I can talk about water,
everybody
you
got to
know.
start somewhere. How you said that, I like that. I like that quote. You said everybody got to start somewhere. You got to, you know, work your ass off. Yeah. So you gave us some nice gems here today. So again, Big Cloud always finds the right guest. You know, if it's not a developer, it's, you know, someone cool in the community. I'm glad that you came on. Thank you for your time, and we'll see you next week.
Appreciate you.
I'm back on next week. Bloody hell, have I been that good? Like,
Yeah, you're welcome anytime.
Anytime,
right?
man. If you want to
Like,
come on, you just let me know.
am I gonna be a regular now?
We gotta get Mooch and you at the same time. That'd be dope.
Yeah, that'd be a cool
yeah,
little
man.
reunion. The thing is, Mooch, I think he works late. I gotta wait. He has an opening because when he gets the day off.
You do
definitely see it.
realize, like, I mean, I can talk underwater, right? But Mooch could definitely talk underwater. Like, you'll never shut him up. Like, you would need a 2-hour podcast.
Yeah.
Like, just, and
Oh,
that's just
God.
off one. That's just one topic.
One person, yeah.
No, that's just one of your topics.
Oh man, it's
He's
hilarious.
a legend.
He
you
really
know what it
is a cool dude, man.
You should get into radio, him, you know, because like he's got one of those voices, hasn't he? Where he just has the banter. He has the
Definitely has
the
the podcast voice. I tell him that all the time. I'm like, dude, why don't you just, you know, go for it all the way? You know, whether it be YouTube videos, let it out. You know what I mean? Drop the content.
He's so good at it. It's
Yeah.
like, and like I
You
said,
think I'd be
generally-
joking, you know, because people say I have a podcast voice. I'd be sitting there going, nah. I don't feel like that sometimes. I'm like, I don't know about that, but Mooch, I'd be like, yeah, that's definitely a podcaster.
Yeah. So anyway, what you need to do is pinch some of Blazer's little LEDs there at the back. Just stick them on your wardrobe there in the distance.
That's it. No, but Big Cloud likes so many different things in gaming, and all I'm saying is he should just show some of that off. Just add a little unique.
I have an
flavor.
LED on the desk right there. It's not on though. On that dresser.
You'll
No,
get
but-
there, man.
Listen,
What
if you
it-
could
what-
see my wall right here, you'd see 1,000 posters. Like you'd see games out. Like, let me see if I can spin.
Let's
Yeah.
have a little sticky.
It's like I can't really turn it, but
Yeah, he has a lot of stuff around this.
I got
Okay.
all gaming stuff down there. I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah, that's
we see it
cool,
all.
man.
You know, it is what it is. The room's a mess right now.
Even
But
his
yeah, like I'm just
His
saying, add all
uncomfortable
that.
beanbag chair. He catch on.
That's cool.
No, I got rid of that big beam, dude. This beanbag Pope I had was like 500 pounds. It was huge. And I had it in my game room, but I got rid of it.
No, that's cool, man. It's you've got to have something in your life that's uncomfortable, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right.
It's normally it's the wife, but you know.
Oh my lord, God bless her though. You need her. You
Nowadays,
need her, yeah.
I've been with my.
There you go. I got green in the background.
I've been with my wife for over 25 years. We're just like pure best mates. You know, that's how we treat each other. We're just pure like crazy idiots that just like troll each other every day.
25 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Do you understand the level of bond you have to have with someone to coexist? Listen, I talk to my friends all the time. I'm like, wait till you live with your girlfriend or your wife.
Yeah.
And now you're sharing a space. Now you're seeing all the flaws. You're seeing everything.
Oh, I
And,
mean,
you know.
we've had so many
Shout
we've
to
had
Lady
fights and
Foxfire.
arguments and everything, you know. And if you can get through an argument and a fight and still be like cool as fuck the next day, you know you're with the right person, you know.
Yeah.
Because the end of the day, it's healthy to have a good old little argument, you know. And yeah, it's. I
You
would
gotta
never,
speak, man. You
I would
can't
never
keep it bottled in.
Yeah, I would never swap her for the world, me. It's, she's my best friend, so like, why would I want to swap that?
Yeah.
Respect it, man.
Yep. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Any-
that is episode.
Alright.
Oh, you about to say something? Go ahead.
Me, you better hang up because I could just talk all day.
Well, we're going to talk to Pope off air, but seriously, thank you to everybody who came through. Episode 164, we had the talented POPeART. I'm just going to say this real quick before we go any further. Congrats again to all this, to all your success, my friend. I'm glad your work has reached many other gamers. It's expanded beyond the consoles and the controllers. You're now making PC cases, so if I need something made, I could definitely say, hey, look, I want to like this, or no bueno. So shout out to you. Obviously, Blaze, Solidcast, was it next week?
Yes, sir.
Next week, Solidcast, and obviously me, Big Cloud Gaming. You already know. Every Friday, RGT. Monday through Friday, content, the whole 9 yards. See you guys on the next one. Y'all be blessed.